So we are here in the studio at CFUZ and we're going to go over a few things to do and not to do while you are using the microphones. So for starters, wear your headphones. When you're wearing your headphones, you can hear what you sound like through the mic and not just what you sound like in your head, which is a totally different thing, especially if you forget to turn on your mic. Second of all, super basic, don't touch the table. Just like if you were at the library, it's really annoying if you hear something like this happening next to you. Same thing with any papers that you might have with you. Maybe you brought some notes. You don't want to hear the terrible rough rustling of papers on the air. It comes through a lot louder than you would think, and it's really unprofessional and annoying if you're a listener. Another thing to consider is typing, and if you're using your mouse to look at things on the computer, those are also noisy, so try to do that when your microphone is not currently on. If you must bring your cell phone into the studio with you, turn off the sound or turn it off entirely. Turn off vibration as well, because odds are your mom's gonna call you as soon as you turn on your microphone. Ready? Another thing that you can consider while you're on air that's less technical and more just about how you present yourself is using filler words and avoiding using filler words with sounds like try and avoid making those noises as much as you can because they sound unprofessional. Another thing to worry about when you're in the studio is the distance from the mic. So you want to avoid the mic being too far away from you, then you're going to sound really far away and distant on air. You also want to avoid being really close to the point where you're ingesting other people's germs that are on the mic. Because that's gross, it makes the mics smelly, which is gross, and also it's not going to sound as good. Another thing you want to keep track of and regulate is your volume, because a lot of people start sentences, they start speaking on the mic at a very high and excited tone, and over the course of speaking whatever it is that you're trying to say, if you're giving the weather, you're going to start out, most likely, you're going to start out with, "Today the weather in Penticton is cloudy and 20 degrees," and you're very slowly going to reduce in pitch. So if you can be really aware of the pitch that you're speaking at and try and maintain a constant volume, then it's going to sound a lot better on air, and people aren't going to be in their cars adjusting the volume up and down. So another thing to worry about when you're on the mic, in case I haven't listed enough already, is heavy breathing. A lot of people tend to stop when you stop talking. Maybe you leave your mic on while you're putting on the music. You kind of forget about it, and you're just sitting there like Darth Vader into the microphone, and it sounds really bad. And again, if you have your headphones on, you're probably going to hear yourself doing that. You also want to avoid coughing or sneezing into the microphone, again because that's really gross, and also because it sounds really bad. So if you must cough or sneeze or make any other kind of strange noise that you don't want to be on air, either turn and use your elbow like your mom taught you, or one last thing to think about when you're on air and speaking into the mic, it's really easy to get so distracted by all of the other things that I just listed that you forget that you're trying to engage an audience. And one thing that is a really easy way to disengage an audience is by speaking in a monotone and sounding incredibly dull and boring. And one way to avoid doing that is to smile when you're speaking it is a weird brain voice connection thing. You just automatically have more emphasis, you have more excitement, you sound more like an engaged person and less like some weird volunteer drone that's trapped in the booth. So if you're smiling while you're talking, you're going to engage your audience more, you're going to sound more interesting, and people are going to keep listening to you, which is, of course, always one of our biggest goals.